All right, and we are live. Just hit it. All right, what is up? Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, no matter where you are on this bright, beautiful, and hopefully green earth. Unless you live in the desert, of course, then it's just brown all year. Maybe a little bit of orange. Sometimes white sands are pretty fun. We got a place we used to go to as kids out in New Mexico, I believe, White Sands National Park. But no matter where you are, we're glad you're here. My name's Matt Latham, board certified master arborist, registered consulting arborist. And welcome to Ask an Arborist. This is where we talk about all of your tree problems and answer them. If you haven't yet, head over to the face webs. You can just click on the search bar and type in Ask an Arborist. If you're not a member, we'd love to have you join. Love to have you as part of our community. And we're doing fun, cool things. Just so y'all know, this has been like an absolutely wild ride for me. Look at this crazy number here, you guys. Hold on. I gotta zoom in on that, I think. Look at that crazy number. Oh, that's too much. Oh, y'all don't want to see all that. Where'd it go? There's a crazy number in there somewhere, you guys. There it is. Wait, a little bit back. A little bit backer. 10,100 members, you guys. We started this November, the year before last. So that's not a lot of time, and it's really fun for me. I love click on this magic button right here. Check this out. This is bananas. You ready for it? 10,100 members. But look at our oh, you know what? I'm showing you the wrong image here. Is that one? 10,074 people is how many cool kids are hanging out here learning about trees with us. But what I really love is there's a version on my phone. Let me zoom in, put the full screen on. But if you look here, maybe you can read that, maybe you cannot. Let me zoom back just a little bit. It says 624 new people in the past week. That is just absolutely wild. I know it's fuzzy. It is what it is. But yeah, 624. Now, I don't even know. My math is not mathing right now. Let me just type that in right now. Real quick, 624 divided by 7 days in a week, right? That's 89.142857142857142857 people every single day that are joining us. Hey, welcome, Sprout. You're a part of this journey, dude. I was just saying, check this out. I don't know if you just joined or not, but 10,074 people. And for those of you that are watching or will watch, check this. I got all this crazy stuff. I wanted to celebrate with you guys. Normally we're passing around bottles of other things, but this time we're passing out bottles of Microlife. So we're going to do a special live stream coming up on this coming Saturday evening. We're just going to celebrate together, hang out, have a good time, and talk trees. And give away some really cool Microlife products. We'll ship them to you no matter where you are, as long as it's here in the U.S. I don't want to pay for shipping to China. I'm sorry, but yeah, we if you're here in the lower 50, then lower 48, probably we might even do Alaska and Hawaii too. And you happen to be free on a Saturday evening. We'll announce the time here shortly and put it on the events, of course. But we'll be giving away some great Microlife products, and we'd love to have you join us. Just celebrate a little bit and just have a good time talking a little bit relevant tree information about what's going on. Sprout, glad to have you, man. Sprout's asking, hi, can I send you some pictures for you to look at? My mom's fellow teacher and friend had a Japanese magnolia fail in strong wind we had, and tornadoes, but I'm trap shooting right now. Yes. Be safe out there, Sprout. Don't shoot yourself while you're trying to talk trees with me. That's weird. But anyways, so we're glad to have you a part of this community. Again, if you haven't joined us over on FaceWebs, just go and search into the Facebook. I keep saying FaceWebs. I can't even get it right in my brain now. Go just head over to Facebook and type in Ask an Arborist, and you'll see our little group right up here, guys. And just click on that, and that'll bring you to us if you haven't joined as a member. And if you want good, relevant tree information, I'm teaching this stuff all the time. I have been so busy, you guys, with podcasts and with teaching events and things like that. We're getting some really great content. We actually just did a podcast with Microlife. So while you're over there on YouTube, you can go see me on their interview over there. Just type in Microlife as well, and you'll see Microlife Fertilizers, I think is what their YouTube is. But of course, check out Arborist on demand as well. And we'd love to have you come over there and subscribe to our channel. Like I said, we're trying to give out really good information about the trees you love and live under. So, Sprout, yes, send those pictures on over, my friend, and I'd love to take a look at them and figure out what's going on. Maybe if you, I know you're trap shooting, but when you catch a break, maybe it's somebody else's turn. If you don't mind shooting those over and give me a little background. I said Japanese maple fell over. I want to know like history. When was it planted and all that? Oh, you just sent them? Wait, I can't see all of that. Let's see. Magnolia. Here's the magnolia. All right. Now that I've got a little discretion, I'm not giving away all my information on my email. Oh wow, that failed big time. I'm looking at it on my phone and that's crazy. Okay. Alright, y'all, check this out. This Sprouts failed. Japanese maple, you said, Sprout? I love how big those get. Yeah. Come back and join us, man. Glad to have you. And do me a favor, like the video if you can, if you got a sec, if you're still hanging. But okay, so this is what Sprout was talking about. He's got this crazy situation with a tornado, y'all. And tornadoes happen. Believe it or not, that is a very common thing to happen to trees. Oh, Japanese magnolia. I said maple. Sprout, my bad, dude. Japanese magnolia. I was like, Japanese maple doesn't have blooms like that. Or Japanese maple. Japanese magnolia does. Beautiful pink flowers. That really stinks, Sprout, man. Sometimes God's just in control, and there's nothing we can do about it. But man, what a beautiful tree. I'm sorry y'all are dealing with that. What I would do, you've got some remaining canopy. Let's see what else you got. Yeah. Oh my goodness, Sprout. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, man. That might be one of those you consider removing. You've got decay on the top side of this limb here, and it hangs over the roof. You do have like this little sprout here. See what you did there, Sprout. You made me pun on accident. Yeah, so you've got these two sprouts here, but you've lost a good 40%, 50% of the canopy, Sprout. I'm really sorry, dude. I wonder what's in the upper canopy. If you could send me some more pictures of whatever's left over the house there, that would be really helpful, because obviously it looks like it's leaning directly towards the house. Man, I'm not having good thoughts about this tree. I'm really not, brother, and I'm sorry, man. I hate to even say stuff like that. That's like feels violent, disgusting coming out of my mouth. One of my mom's friends, and she's a teacher at the grade school. I'm doing the nature area restoration on it. The other thing, Sprout, you've got some serious decay in that tree that existed before. Now, you know me, I'm okay with a tree having decay, but once it gets opened up like that, that decay is going to spread because you just unalive even more of the cambium. So, if you kept it, you're going to have to like basically just about top the rest of that tree overhanging the house. And then still, only God knows the future. Alternatively, if you want to try, it's not a high likelihood of success, in my humble opinion, but we might look back 30 years down the road and I was wrong. Trees are amazing survivors, as y'all know. So yeah, I'm thinking, Sprout, if anything, I would like top this stem, or not top it, but like reduce at least 30% of the canopy height, because all of that is going to be extremely prone to further damage if you've got any amount of leverage up there. With the sprouts, yeah, my bad, I misread that earlier about the teacher friend. With the sprouts, if it had to get cut down from a new tree, yes, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I would either severely retrench that canopy that's over the roof, because that is going to be a structural issue, man. You and I don't know the extent to it until something else happens. So you're either going to just completely reduce it by like 30%. If you can make good reduction cuts there, great. I doubt it, because I see a pretty lion's-tailed tree, not too bad, but they've obviously been pruned up and up and up to where that canopy height is raised up quite a bit. So I'm wondering if you can get that much of a cut on it. But if you can do at least 20% or 30%, you might be able to preserve the rest of it. That would actually stunt the growth on those limbs going over the house too, and allow the tree to these two sprouts to catch up. Excuse me. Um, so yeah, I'm really wondering. You know me. I'm usually an optimistic realist, but this is where that realist comes in. I think you got a real situation here where it's not likely to survive. I see a tree with already decay in it. You could see here and on the top side of that limb too. You've got decay on the top side here. So man, it's not a good situation. If it were mine, Sprout, I would just remove everything growing up towards the house. Try to leave those sprouts. Try to prevent decay by keeping it really super healthy. But yeah, at this point, you've got a huge structural issue if that tree, if you keep that tree up in the air. So sorry to be the bearer of bad news, man, but yeah, if anything, I would cut it back to those two sprouts and see which one really has the best vigor, and maybe in a few years consider reducing that down to one, or at least start reducing the one growing towards the house. But yeah, that stinks, man. I'm sorry you're dealing with that, sprout. But hope that helps, man. Let me know if you got any other questions too. Of course, yeah. Retrench is the right word. For those of you, my fellow Arbros, retrenchment is a dirty word, or it's also an awesome word, but it's great. But yeah, gotta go. I'll be there for the live stream on that Saturday. Great, man. Love to have you there. And just what he's in reference to, we're gonna do a special Saturday evening live stream. Y'all, we hit 10,000 members. That's crazy. Just absolutely bonkers. And so we're gonna do a little celebration by giving away a bunch of Microlife products. I got some soil and plant energy here. I got a liquid AF. AF, by the way, get your mind out of the gutter. Stands for antifungal. What it is, it's really fun. Bacillus subtilis, Bacillus licheniformis, Bacillus pumilus, Bacillus megaterium, Streptomyces liticus, Streptomyces griseus, Trichoderma viridi. By the way, that's the one that has the most research on it. Later, Sprout. We'll see you, buddy. Thanks for being here. Trichoderma harzianum. These are all bacterium that will consume. They're heterotrophic, and they are nitrogen fixing, so they're going to feed the plants. They're heterotrophic, meaning they consume just about anything that's not them, particularly good sources of nutrients like fungus. And they're going to just really create a healthy bioculture in the soil, and you can spray that above ground too. So this is my favorite that we're giving away. This stuff is awesome too, and this is just like basically how to jumpstart your soil right there. But if you're planting good trees, this is the stuff, the ocean harvest. If you got some fungal issues or just want to prevent fungal issues, Microlife Liquid AF, and we'll drop some links in the comments here too. That way you got them in the description. But we'd love to have you guys Saturday. We're giving those away, and we got 5 bottles to give away, no matter where you are in the lower 48 and Alaska and Hawaii. I'll pay to ship. I'm a nice guy, I think, right? Right? Hold on one second, you guys. We got work going on while I'm doing the live stream. Not fun, you guys? Not my favorite. Okay, and we're back, y'all. Sorry. Had a brief hiccup there. Had to deal with some business stuff. All right, so with that being said, like I said, join us Saturday if you can. Otherwise, if you got questions about your trees, there you go, is exactly where you want to direct them. Send them over to Ask an Arborist, and we'll get into it, y'all. Jeff here is asking, where you at, Jeff? Nobody knows. Nashville. What's up, Jeff from Nashville? Y'all just had some serious ice damage in a lot of your trees there. So, all right, he's got a tree. What is that? Tree sapling, middle of the photo, an ash tree sapling. I have my doubts. That could be ash. That could definitely be fresh. I'm curious how long it could be kept in a 5-gallon bucket with proper drainage before it would have to be placed in its final position. Have you ever heard, Jeff, of a thing called bonsai? Bonsai, I think is how the traditionals pronounce it. But bonsai is essentially essentially bonsai is you're trapping the roots. You're keeping them confined into a very small, tight knit area. And what that does, we call it the auxin cytokinin loop. It's the auxin cytokinin cycle. The hormone that produces the growth in the branches is produced in the roots. All right, I've been fighting off a cold here. Okay, so the hormones that cause the branches to grow is produced in the roots. The hormone that causes the roots to grow is produced in the branches. And so you get this cycle where the both sides are sending the nutrients and the resources up and down, and that's where we get growth. So when you trap the roots, you're not able to grow branches, right? And that's why you can keep a tree small, tiny like that for like 400 years. Okay, Jeff, I know that's like I'm rambling here, but all of that to say, and I'm going to give you a video here too. But all of that to say is as long as you want it. I mean, you can keep it there in theory perpetually, although it is an ash tree, so they don't last as long. But I've never seen an ash bonsai before, but in theory, it should work. And so, actually, let's ask robots here. Where is it? Is it possible to bonsai a green ash? That's what it looks like to me. Short answer, yes, but it's not exactly playing on easy mode. Okay, so yeah, technically perpetually, but it might be challenging. And it's been done. I'm seeing some examples that the robots are showing me on my screen. But yeah, you can keep it for years. Realistically, you don't want to keep it much longer once the roots get like to the edge of the bucket. So that's what happens in container grown trees is they're in a container and it's a finite container, whatever. And the roots get to the edge of it and then the tree can't really grow anymore. Well, the nursery wants it to grow. So what they do is they then step it up into a much larger container. So you've got small container, maybe a 1 gallon or a 5 gallon. You step it up to a 15 gallon, right? Or you step it up to a 30 gallon or 100. We just planted a bunch of 200 gallon trees, and they're big. But the roots all get to the edges of the root ball or the container, and they start wrapping around. That's very bad. And when we plant them, we run the air spade and make sure to hit the edges of the root ball very good, pull the roots out as best we can, get out any girdling roots and all that. But all that to say, yes, you can keep it in there a while, but you don't want to keep it in there too much of a while. Keep it in there maybe no more than a year or two, and you're probably okay. But you could technically, in theory, maybe go longer. But I wouldn't personally. I'd keep it in there for no more than 6 months or 12 months. Hope that helps, Jeff. We're moving on. We got Amy here. What's up, Amy? Where are you from? We don't know. Pennsylvania. What's up, Amy from Pennsylvania? Got a giant maple tree in my front yard. I noticed while sitting here that it looks like another maple trunk is growing out of one of the branches. That's cool. What? It's like a Franken tree. Is that a thing that can happen? And should I cut that part down? Let me know if these pics are good enough. Thanks. Oh, we have a swing attached to the branch. It's been up for 22 years. Oh, okay. I read 20 there. Oh, that's not good. Okay. What? Oh, I see what you mean. Oh, that's crazy. Hormones going on in that tree. Yeah, that's wild. Okay. So what that was many years ago. Oh, I see exactly what happened, Amy. This is fun. We're going to get into some tree biology here. Let's see. Paint. Where you at, paint? I need some paint. And a new computer that goes faster. Amy, I hope you're gonna watch this later because this is really fun. We're gonna talk trees and such because here's what happens. So you've got let's copy. And we're gonna paste it in here, and I'm gonna have to zoom out quite a bit. So. This is happening long before all of this. Okay, where are we? There we go. So, let me find my button. This branch, oops. I need a brush. I gotta change the settings on this. So this branch right here has essentially, think of it like a tourniquet has been applied to this branch, right? So what that does is it prevents the tree from being able to push nutrients and minerals and all that. Oops. So, oops. Let's go here. I'm not really good at this pen yet. I gotta change the settings on it too. All right, so water, oopsies. This is hilarious. I'm gonna have to get used to this, Lucas. So water and nutrients are being pulled from the ground this way, right? And oh, it's like every time I touch it to the screen, it does that. Okay, here we go. I can deal with that. And so what happened is basically because of this girdling right there, essentially that it's changing what the tree has to do. So it can't move nutrients past that block point. You're gonna have to move that swing, by the way. Important. But meanwhile, you've got this other branch that starts. Where are we? Where are we? Getting all of those nutrients and resources that would have gone over here. And so essentially the tree just rerouted. It found a blockage right there, and it's like, oh, I can't do much there. So it pushed that growth upwards. It's a really interesting situation. Do I think you need to remove it? No. The tree has done a wonderful job of surviving, and it's doing that for a reason, obviously. We don't what we want to do is like come in and shock it by just changing it very suddenly. What we want to do is do this gradually. So let me show you what I'm talking about here, Amy. So it's going to look like this. You're going to do this in cycles, right? So we've got our new page. Don't save. Oh, I should have saved it. Oh, well, that's okay. Got our new page here. What you're going to need to do is you're going to have to reduce that big limb right there. So you're going to have to, oops, I need another brush. Where's my brush? Okay, I get the hang. I get it now. I get it now. You're going to have to reduce this whole entire limb. I got this cool little X pen thing, you guys, and I'm not good at it yet. You can't even see it, but that's what I'm doing here. I'm just messing everything up royally, so I apologize. I'll get better at this over time. But it's a really cool little tool, but I'm just terrible at it. So what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to reduce that limb. You don't want to just shock the tree and do it all in once. You can maybe, but that can cause all kinds of structural problems later on. So we don't want to do that. But what you do want to do is actually just come in here and make these reduction cuts here. So like here, I might reduce this limb all the way back to there. So all this stuff up here is no longer going to be there. Now what that'll do, Amy, is that'll actually tell the tree to stop putting growth into that crazy, weird, funky looking branch. This one. So it's going to tell the tree to stop pumping resources into that. Meanwhile, move that little that girdling choke point you've got, and if you can, just install like a single bolt all the way through the branch. Get an arborist to help you if you don't feel comfortable with it, because it's a safety thing, right? But you actually want to run a bolt all the way through the branch. That's going to be a much stronger and less likely to cause problems type of setup. And so, anyways, for safety and for really the health and vitality and structural integrity of the tree, that's important. So make sure that you're doing that. But you want to move that and change the pressure. Bring it to the other side of the tree if you want. That's fine. Just get it out of that particular region. And then after you've done that, come in here and just start reducing this back. Oh, here's a great image. Copy. Paint. I'm going to save this one for you and give it to you. Hopefully it makes sense. Amy's ash. That's an ash, right, Lucas? I don't even remember. Might be. That's not helpful. All right. Is that the one I wanted? No? No, that's not what I wanted. This is what I wanted. Okay. So you see you've got this one branch here. So what you'll do is you're gonna get the, oops, this is what I want. I want a big old fat. So you're gonna bring this all the way back here. Get rid of all that mess. And then on this one that comes out here, you might even be able to reduce it further up here also. And so I know that's like the worst drawing ever, but that's all right. You're gonna have to deal with it. And I hope that's an ash. Otherwise, I'm gonna feel like a complete fool putting on Ashley's ash. At Amy's ash. Sorry, this is crazy. Like word salad up in here. All right, so that's what I would do. I would not remove the whole thing in one. I would do that the first year. Second year, you're going to come in and go down a little bit further. And again, make sure you get a proper arborist out there to help you. That's one you really want some help with, especially being a height like that. And then finally, the third year, and preferably do this all in winter if you can. The third year, or at least not spring. Third year, you want to come in and make that final cut. It's kind of problematic though. I might actually not even make that final cut because making a cut that big can oftentimes lead to decay. And the worst place to have that decay is here on the top side. So if you can avoid it, that's far better. All right. Hope that helps, Amy. We're moving on. What's up? What's up? You're like really muffled. Hold on. Let me take it off of Bluetooth because this is getting irritating in my ear. Oh, what's up, Ashton? Thanks for joining me, bud. Ashton buckets are cool. Okay, you there, Lucas? Yeah, Ashton's a cool arborist. He's up here in the Houston area too, or down here. All right, Lucina. What's up, Lucina from Hoover, Alabama? I have this persimmon tree, Birmingham, Alabama, and the yard guy that are no longer my yard guys did this to the trunk with the weed whacker. I imagine that might be part of why they're not your yard guys anymore. It's about 4 years old. Well, maybe it was a couple of years old when I got it. Is there something should do to help it? Yeah, the main thing is you're gonna want to pull that mulch away from it. You've got some buried root flares too. So, let's see. Uh-oh, I did that, didn't I? Let take care of some business here, y'all. Okay, let's see. So I made a little video specifically for this purpose, but what you're going to want to do is get rid of the mulch all around there. You also want to dig out that root flare. The problem is if you walk out into a forest and you're looking for just a tree, you want to know, you want to take a look at any tree out there. Every single one of them, with a few exceptions maybe, are going to have these big, giant, bold, beautiful root flares flaring out. And Lucina, yours does not. And so what happens is the roots literally come up for air, right? They want to be at a certain level in the soil. So they're going to start creeping up. They're going to start coming up into the spot that they want to be in. So once they get to a place where the oxygen and the water and the minerals and all that are at the right levels, great. Now it starts to fill in. It starts to go around and seek for new ground. And when it does, often it can clog. It can go right around the base of that and the roots can start cutting into it. And I'll show you maybe, let's see if I can do this. Yeah. Because I just did a little video about that and I'll show you the extreme example of it maybe. This is, don't look at me. Don't look at me. I'm embarrassed right now. Mostly at my internet speed. That was a gift from my son, by the way. Here it is. Okay, so this is a really big problem. Girdling roots are really, really common in the built environment. Most of the time I see it is because they're burying the tree too deep. It happens so often, you guys. But if you can see here, this is the extreme version. This is kind of the long-term result of what happens is the roots come across and essentially think of it like a tourniquet or a bad pair of shoes, Lucina. I'm sure you've probably put on a bad pair of shoes where they just cut off the circulation and it's basically life ruining. And these girdling roots do the exact same thing. It cuts off the trunks growing in diameter, the roots growing in diameter. You get this compression so tight against there. And what'll happen is it's just like wearing a tourniquet. Like try choking yourself. It doesn't work. You got to breathe. Like so does the tree, so do the roots. And watch this. Let me show you what happens like when we finally get this out. Look at that. Just look at it. That's how much pressure was being put on that. And so it's really important that you get those root flares exposed. All that again, all that to say, it's really important you get those flares exposed. I think there's more damage than even the landscapers have been doing underneath there. And I'll give you one other cool video too. Um, New tree struggling to thrive? This may be the answer. So we talked about the girdling roots. Mulch is a good thing, but you actually want to pull those mulch beds out a little bit. And let me give you one other cool video that I made. That's just a quick little, just give it an extra boost. Just give it some extra resources and some extra rootability. Because if it's been there for 4 years, it's still developing. And doing this is going to add a ton of oxygen and a ton of air to the soil, which is going to feed the microbes, feed the beneficials, feed the tree. Everything's going to do better. So check that out. I hope that helps. And yeah, sorry that happened. Landscapers, that's a dirty 4-letter word in my world. So anyways, hope you find a great one. All right, Jeff, we talked about yours. I gave you the videos. I'm wondering if I posted that. I didn't. I need to hit the send button. So bad. So bad. There we go. All right, Amy. Hope that helps. Okay, Tyler. What's up, Tyler? Where you from? We don't know. West Georgia. Cool. I'm in need of some advice. Oh, you got peach tree in Georgia? That's wild. Never heard of such a thing. In need of some advice, I planted this peach sapling 2 weeks ago and was giving it a gallon of water a day. Oh my goodness. I'll tell you what your problem is right now, Tyler. You're watering it too much. Everything I see online says that's not enough and to do 5 gallons at a time, 2 to 3 times a week. The difference is you're doing it every day, bro. That is try sticking your head underwater. It just doesn't work. That's exactly what's happening too. That's called suffocation. Your roots are happening. That's what's happening to your roots right now. Your roots are suffocating. Can I say that online? Anyways, they're not getting air. They need to breathe just like you and I do. The problem is they don't have a respiratory or a circulatory system that's constant and a respiratory system that's pumping oxygen throughout our bodies at all times. So the way they do that is in the roots, the soil dries out. And then like here we have clay. You guys probably have a pretty thick clay too in Western Georgia. It looks like it maybe. What's going to happen is that water just gets locked in there real tight. And again, it's like sticking your head underwater and then hoping for the best in a few days. You've got to slow it down. You've got to let that soil dry out. It's very important. And then the other thing too, let me give you this video because most trees are planted too very poorly. And so this is just one little thing you can do to help improve the overall health and vitality of the tree. And that's just a video I put out there a while back about a technique called radial trenching. And so, anyways, hope that helps. Yeah, hope that helps, man. It looks like Amy was saying something. I want to check out, see what Amy's saying. We'll go here. Amy, we were talking about her tree earlier. Yes, that's it. Not sure what the blue means. Okay, yeah. Hopefully you watched the live stream, Amy. But yeah, the blue is where I would cut it back to. So yeah, I would remove that portion of it. It's I think it's purple, but maybe I'm colorblind. It's very possible. So yeah, I did the same, showed the same in this picture. Amy is, if you're still watching, maybe we can tag it again. That's fun, Lucas. We're doing this like live in action. So yeah, blue is the same as the red. You basically just remove that portion and reduce that height back, Amy. There, we brought it up again. Good conversation. Thanks for joining. All right, anonymous from somewhere is Cincinnati, Ohio. Great. I have two crabapple trees, two pictures for each tree. Cool. That are a few years old. I'm wondering if these two trees can recover at the top into successful crab apples. Is there anything I can do to promote growth? Thanks in advance. Yes. Same thing we were talking about earlier. You got to expose those root flares. And chances are, I'm not judging you. I'm judging my industry for not teaching you. It was planted wrong. And so you're going to want to do a couple things just to improve the overall health and vitality. But this one thing I really love. It's called radial trenching is the name of the technique, anonymous. And basically what you're going to do is you're going to dig little trenches radiating away from the trunk where you planted it, and you're going to backfill it with something super juicy for the tree, super fluffy, like compost, maybe mulch, something like that. And what that'll do, it's going to break down, it's going to feed it, oxygenate it, and allow oxygen to get down to the root system. It's going to amend the soil, create a high level of organic content in the soil, and then it's going to basically allow nice channels for the roots to start developing. But it also makes sure that water drains out of there very efficiently. And so that's very important. Most people, and I can tell yours are planted too deep. I'm not judging. It's just, it is what it is. And we got to talk about these things. But I'm your friend. I'm your tree friend anyways. And I'm here to help. So it's not to be offensive. We've just got to correct some poor planting techniques. It looks like that happened, and your trees should thrive. Also, make sure you're not watering them constantly. Also, it looks like you got nice, delicious, beautiful grass. If you're using weed and feed, do not use it around those trees. I'm sorry if you get weeds out there, but that's far better than unalived tree. But the other thing too, scratch test. You gotta check the scratch test to make sure before you do anything that it's not that the tree tissue is alive to begin with. If you're don't treat or take care of a dead tree, y'all. It's not smart. I don't recommend it. But this is a technique called the scratch test, and it's basically going to show you whether or not the tissue underneath there is alive. So I know I'm dumping a lot of information on you, but go check that out. And if you feel led to, I'd love to have you subscribe to the channel too. So I'm teaching about this stuff all the time. All right, hope that helps. And we are moving on. Look at those cool. I love crab apples. If y'all haven't seen crab apples up north, like northeast rather, or maybe Michigan, I hear they do really well. Ohio, they clearly do really well. But in the springtime, my goodness, they've got the most unbelievable blooms that you can possibly imagine. So they're great little ornamental trees. They're not. When we say crab apple, we don't mean like apple that you eat, and certainly crabs don't grow on there. But they are gorgeous. Let's see if I can pull this up. Just for fun, y'all. Just for fun. Look at that. Isn't that unbelievable? Yeah, that's right. Some of them are white too. So look, it's just unbelievable. I've just been driving through New Jersey, right when all of this. There was one neighborhood I remember driving through, and everybody's got these giant rows of these 30-year-old crab apples, and it was just unbelievable. It's like driving through a Barbie dream or something. That's. I started producing a lot of estrogen then, but no, I'm just not playing. But it was gorgeous. It's really beautiful. So, if crab apples are great trees, they're not structural. They're not going to be the shade trees that provide all the shade for your house or whatever. But they're awesome trees if you want a nice little ornamental. All right, what's up, Misanthropy from somewhere? No idea. Portland. Thank you, y'all. Keep that up. Y'all are doing great about putting on your locations. Looks like you're growing some. What is that? Oh my goodness. Looking to identify this tree. The lichen covering throws me off, and I don't trust Google for ID. Me neither. What on earth is that? It's not a beach. Those giant limaces. Look at them. I actually don't recognize that, Em. Oh man. It almost looks, I don't know. That's funky. Yeah, and just so you don't judge me too hard, there's 70,000 different types of trees out there. That's not including the hybrids and the genetic freaks that are made in some people's, some people's backyards. Uh, but it almost looks like the structure of like a Chinese pistachio, but it also kind of has some ash semblance to me. I really don't know on this one. I'm sorry. I wish I could tell. You know what we can do? I do have my robots pretty well trained in arboriculture. Um, let's see if we can get some robots answering us. The other thing too, I don't know where you're. Oh, Portland, Oregon. So you're probably still pretty cold up there. Although I was talking with somebody from Milwaukee, and they were saying that it was. Oops. They were saying that it was like 80 the other day. So that's crazy because that's like Houston weather right now. It was 87 today. I'm highly offended. In fact, they call it the armpit of America, and I found that to be true. Uh, Mine are about that hot too. TMI, I know, right? Opposite branching. That's what I was thinking. Opposite ash tree. That's okay. It's saying ash tree. But I don't. Yeah, opposite branch pattern. It looks like an ash to me, but I don't recognize that type of ash. And not maple, ash, telephone pole, heavy lichen growth. Not a problem. Just indicates slow growth, moisture exposure. Structure looks like a bit leggy. We talk urban planted ash trees that were never structurally trained properly on. So now you got tall stems, sparse branching, not a ton of interior structure. That's what my well-trained robot is telling me, and that's kind of what I'm identifying too. I saw an ash. I think that's what it is, but I really just don't recognize that one. I'm sorry. That maybe what you might be able to do is go to this website, find your state's agriculture extension on there, and then it's just a little blog I wrote with a list of all of the state agriculture extensions, and maybe reach out to them and ask them the same question because they're going to be more local and be used to all the greenery there. But and I try not to make too many excuses, but there really are. There's 70,000. It's like an aspen um, infiltrators. There we go. Yeah, oops. I didn't mean to do that twice. My bad. Yeah, I'm thinking some kind of ash. It does kind of look like hydrangea though. The lichen that you're seeing. I need to edit this and delete it. There we go. Yeah, so hope you find the right answer. I really do think it's an ash. I could be wrong. It's happened more than once in my life, believe it or not. Lee, what's up, Lee from Denver, Colorado, somewhere. Planted an autumn gold ginkgo. That's a fun tree right there. A week ago, likely hard freeze tonight. Denver, Colorado. Is it planted okay? Not too deep. Do I need to protect it from the freeze, and how? Oh, yeah. I got a great solution for you. Pull up our good old trusty Amazon.com. We're going to look up heater tape. They probably have it in warehouses up there for you because y'all get cold. And so a newly planted tree, normally I'm gonna say, you know what, don't worry about it. Water it deeply, mulch it, 2 days before or so, but you're coming in hot tonight and we got like an hour maybe too. It may be too late for this, but the other thing is if you can take this, and I'm just gonna give you the cheap one that I can find. It's $23.99 whole dollars. 24, I think, is could have kept that a little simpler, y'all. All right, so I'm just gonna do this. It's too late to really probably get this in, but it's a good thing to have on hand because if you can get some and be ready for next year, anything you've got that might be a little more sensitive, like here in Houston, we put a lot of stupid tropical plants in, like bottle brush tree. I have a bottle brush tree and it's beautiful only because I use this heater tape. Otherwise, every other bottle brush tree in the neighborhood is like unalived. It's gone. 2 years. They're all gone. Some of them they cut back to the grass. It looks fine. But heater tape's great. The other thing too, you definitely want to water it deeply. And I'll give you a couple videos you can check out too. But You want to water it very deeply, and you want to try to cover it at least with a blanket. And don't use plastic. Plastic transfers heat very rapidly. You don't want to do that, but you can definitely do like some uh, like a cloth, like if you've got a moving blanket, those are perfect because they're a little padded and insulated. And then if you're going to get rain, then you can drape a tarp over top of that. You don't want that tarp touching the bark though, or the leaves, because it can cause some serious damage. But there's a little video I got, protect your trees. It's a little too late to do a whole lot, but you may just get by if you go in and cover it up. Or you can use incandescent light bulbs too. That's always a great trick as well. And so you can make sure that you've got just like not the LEDs. You got to get grandma's old school light bulbs that have the LED bulbs that you got to replace periodically and all that. But yeah, go try to wrap it with something that'll generate a little bit of heat. And cover it with that blanket, cover it with a tarp, and you should be okay. Realistically, he's probably even though it's brand new, he's probably been through a couple winters, right? They don't grow those inside a greenhouse during the winter. They're trees. They grow them outside, and they water them. And the trees actually produce glycol like peptides that will lower the freezing point. So that's why go out there right now, Lee. If you got time, if you see this in time, go out there and water it really deeply. Looks like it's actually pretty moist, so maybe okay. Add a little bit of mulch, and then maybe just drape a blanket over it. He's probably fine. You're probably overthinking it, and probably so am I. But why not? It's a nice tree. It's got a good form. Just brand new baby tree planted. Got a good graft above the soil. Nice form, straight tree. Ginkgos are awesome. So yeah, it's worth just doing a little bit of time, getting out there and making it right. Making sure. It's like buying an insurance policy. You probably don't need it, but when you do, it's really nice to have it. So, all right, Tara, what's up, Tara? From where are you from? We don't know. When we bought our house, it's definitely not Dallas or Houston. Japanese maples don't get that big for real. That's amazing. You're probably up in the Northeast somewhere. That's the only other place I've seen Japanese maples get that big, anyways. Ooh, okay. Wait. Hold up. Lee, I hope you didn't leave yet. Michael Gabriels. What's up, Michael? Great to have you here, man. Welcome, dude. Brilliant. This is just an old school farmer trick kind of thing too. Consider an old trash can cut in half with a hole in bottom for the tree, inverted, taped back together, put incandescent light in it for warmth. That's solid advice. I love that. I'm gonna copy that if that's cool. Oops. What have I done? What have I done? Yeah, that's really solid advice, Michael. I love that. You're gonna get posted on there. I'm giving you credit. Uh, Thank you, Michael. That's amazing advice. Well done, my friend. He's a solid arborist, and soon to be registered consulting arborist. So when you see Michael's name pop up, you know it's solid advice here. Great guy, great arborist. All right, so sorry, Tara. I'm sorry. Well, you could maybe reset the time on that one, Lucas. I'm all over the place. Tara. I'm assuming Tara. When we bought our house, these two beautiful Japanese maples were already here. Last year, we put the rock and mulch around the trees. I felt it was a bit too much mulch, so I asked my neighbor to remove some of it. I also learned when putting the gravel down for a driveway to the left, the trees, he removed some roots. What is happening to my trees? Ugh. Oh no. Please tell me it's going to survive. Okay, so yeah, it's too much mulch. Mulch volcanoes. Friends don't let friends do mulch volcanoes. Tara, I love the idea that you're trying to beautify your house. I know that the intentions were good, but that is like one of the worst things you can do. In fact, if anything, you should have done the opposite. Oh goodness, oh that's not looking good, Tara. On that left one, it's really not. I'd like to know when you moved in first. I'd like to know when you moved in first of all, and second of all, I'd like to know when you put the mulch on it. Was it immediate or was there a little time in between? I don't think she gave me time right, Lucas. Oh goodness, yeah. Severed roots. You've got an extremely compacted soil, Tara. I know you're like, how in God's green earth, in God's name, could you possibly know that? Well, I've seen a lot. And I know when y'all put that gravel driveway in, that it was kind of messy. That it did some damage, that it compacted the soil. Now, I tell me too if you've got a clay soil or a oh, that's cool. Or a more of a sandy soil. Oh my goodness, it's getting crazy. Ha! That's funny. Good guy. What's up, Albert? I'll get to your message later, buddy. I hope you're joining us on the live stream. So Tara, yeah, you've got compacted soil. Let me give you a couple of videos that maybe can help. Mulch volcanoes. Friends don't let friends do it, y'all. It's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. All right, so Terry, here's a video you want to do. And I'll be honest, that left one's really not looking so hot. You want to do the scratch test. You want to do the uh you want to get rid of the mulch volcanoes. Very important. I'm afraid it looks unalived. We don't know that yet. Hold on. Sorry, y'all. We got a couple of jobs going on. Okay, sorry guys, we're back. We got everything worked out. Yes, that's so awesome. Welcome, Amy. Thanks for joining us on the Tubes of You. Uh, yeah, Michael was asking, you sure that's not a shantung or something? No, it looks like shantung has a crazy, like almost a webbed like bark. It's got a much lighter yellowish bark to it, and there's much deeper furrows on there too. So, yeah, that to me is definitely either a red maple, like October Glory, or something like that, Autumn Blaze or October Glory, or possibly a just a straight Japanese maple. They look like blood goods to me, but I could be wrong. I don't know. Um, like loosened and pretty organic soil. They like a lush environment. That was exactly what I was getting at, Michael. And Tara, I'm sorry, I've been like ADDing all over your live stream. I'm so sorry. And then vertical mulching. That's what I need. Lucas, you with me still?
Yeah.
That one. All right, so we got that. This one. Okay, so here's where we get to the meat of the content, Tara. You want to drill holes all throughout your yard. I know that's like, what are you talking about? I'm asking about my tree. Well, where the roots are is where you need to drill holes because right now you've got a compacted soil, you've got construction damage that occurred a while back, whenever, I don't know when exactly. You've got a really toxic environment going on for the root system with those rocks. Raising the terrain like that's very, very bad. I'm glad you had your neighbors take it away. I'm really wondering if this left tree is too far gone, but you've got to do that radial trenching, vertical mulching. You got to get rid of the rocks. You got to get rid of the mulch. Push the mulch out to where you've got like a nice big ring around it, going even as far out to the canopy, to the edge of the canopy called the drip line. And then drill some holes, backfill with compost, and that's going to be about your best shot. I would do that for sure on the right side tree. If that left side tree is alive, I would do it there as well. The only way you're going to be able to tell, and I posted that video for you, is to do the scratch test to see if the bark is living or not. So I really hope that helps. I'm sorry, it's not looking good for the left tree, unfortunately, Tara, but give it a shot. If nothing else, do those things to the right tree because he's going to be stressed too if that one is. So hope that helps, Tara. We are moving on. All right, Saffron. What a name, too. That's fun. I don't know any saffrons, I don't think. Can anyone identify, please? Seedlings have come up in a few plants, spot from elsewhere, so none of the trees nearby. Essex, UK. I don't know. I don't recognize that. What do you mean, Michael? Are you saying if you look up vertical mulching on AI, it leads to that? Because that'd be super cool. I've had that happen to a lot of my blogs, actually, and videos. To walk to me. Black poplar. Yeah, that actually makes sense. Some sort of poplar. Yeah, saffron. I don't know, honestly. Y'all have across the pond. Y'all got some different trees and some very similar and same trees, of course. But I that seems like a pretty good answer. But I don't know, to be honest. It says you bought it from a few plants bought from elsewhere, so none of the trees nearby. So I'm wondering, like, maybe if I'm curious, I can't really understand what you're saying, but I'm wondering maybe if you're saying that you bought the seeds from elsewhere and planted it there. So maybe the place you bought it from knows. I don't know. But yeah, poplar looks pretty accurate to me based on the leaves, but I really don't have a lot to go off of. And I just simply don't know the buds that well on. So. Nothing personal. I just sometimes the answers I don't know. We gotta look it up, y'all. All right, Rochelle. What's up, Rochelle? Thanks for being here. We don't know where you're from. We bought our house in Queen Creek 1.5 years ago. The house had sat vacant all summer and the landscape had been neglected. Grapefruit tree and the leaves curling and then losing leaves. The little leaf buds appeared but never grew leaves. We took a citrus tree class from Queen Creek and got some advice on watering. I thought the tree was getting better since we got a bunch of new leaves growing in a few months, but now they're curling again, as you can see underneath. Oh, goodness. The tree, we are losing leaves again. We fertilize 3 times a year and water deeply once a week now. Good. Once a month during the winter. Excellent. I love that. Don't do too much. Y'all stop watering too much. There are no bite marks on the leaves. The only pest I can see on the leaves are on a few occasional spider webs. Those could be mites, possibly. The Mexican lime tree next to it is doing great and has responded positively to our nurturing. I'm almost ready to give up on this tree, but someone recommended I try this group before I give up. Hey, that's wonderful. Thank you guys for referring us out, whoever you are. I don't know where Queen Creek is, though. Let's see. Copy. We'll look that up over here so y'all can't see it. I'm going to try to keep you anonymous there, Rochelle. Oh, is that... Surely is that Arizona? Wow. There's some really, that park, I guess, looking thing. I know y'all can't see it, but I'm like, this is cool. I want to go there. Wow, okay, that's a neat little area. Cool place. Maybe that's why the queen is hanging out at that creek. All right, let's check it out. Curling leaves. Oh, this is almost classic winter burn or herbicide damage. That to me looks like classic. What'd you say? Yeah. Christine Bailey's on here, Lucas, from YouTube. What's up, Christine? Glad to have you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yeah, I was wondering the same, Christine. You've also got rocks there. Rocks, they kind of tend to reflect heat, and that's not good. So, okay, hold the dang phone. Hold up here, y'all. Hold up here. Why is it not pausing for me? Pause! Pause the video. Sorry, I'm like yelling into the mic here, guys. I'm sorry. Okay, so this is what we call witches brooming. So you're getting this crazy new growth. They're all coming out kind of wilty looking, kind of curled and twisted and mangled. This is generally going to be one of two things. It could be a little drought stress too, but not common. It's usually freeze damage will cause this, and or herbicide damage. And I'm gonna be real with you, Rochelle. We got a situation here we got to talk about. You've got this wonderful rock all around there. Now, that's not ideal. Sand is okay, but these rocks can actually cut into the roots too, so that's going to stress it. Christine is absolutely spot on. Thanks for being here, Christine. You've got buried root flares for sure. It's very bad, so that's got to be exposed. And let's see if I can find the video. So you've gotta get these out. Whenever they planted it, Rochelle, I'm gonna be honest. I think they planted it wrong. I think they buried it too deep, and chances are, if they buried it too deep, they didn't do a good job of widening the hole wide enough to where it needs to be. And so, yeah, they buried it too deep. You got rocks there. Mulch is better. Here's another video. Rocks. They can reflect heat. Now I know there's citruses, right? They should be okay with a little bit of rock and a little bit of reflected heat. They love the heat, but even they can get burned, and so that could be stressing them out. I would say probably realistically, you've got sometimes too much and sometimes too little water, and so the tree's kind of going back and forth between that. Now it can get trained to do really well, right? In that it can survive. But you know what it's not going to do, just on that survival level, is if it's barely got enough to survive, enough resources, enough health, enough water, enough whatever, then it's probably not going to be real interested in reproducing. It's not going to have the energy reserves. It's not going to have the care. It's going to be so focused on survival. Also, sometimes it's going to be ultra concentrating on survival, which is to reproduce, and so to continue the species. That's built into their genes too. That's part of their survival. So some years you might get what we call a masting year, where you get like the tree blows up and you got so much fruit, branches are breaking, it's just getting crazy. And you might go between that and having not a lot of fruit at all. Either way, the fruit's probably not going to taste good. So you got to get these problems fixed ASAP. You've got to get, let's see here. This is going to be a good trick. Say trick. It's not tricks. Somebody tried to like get me on ethics because I said the word trick and insurance in the same sentence. But here's what's funny about that is I wasn't actually saying trick it. In fact, I clarified in that same sentence. I said, assuming that's true. What I meant by trick was just a little technique that we use. Strategy is a better word. Whatever. I'll have to take a picture of the elm in the front yard. Also, some 2 years ago, exploded with greens while looking toward the bottom. Kind of look a little spotty at the moment. That's too funny, Christine. Yeah. Send me a picture, please. You know my email. Yeah, send it over to me, Christine. That's hilarious. The reason being is you got a hormone issue. The tree is just trying to retrench and survive. It's pumping all that energy into the lower canopy. So, on all those sprouts and those epicormics, leave them as long as you can. It might be time. It's 2 years ago. It might be time you can start thinning out some of them and start developing some of those permanent branches. And I'm happy to help with that too, of course. But yeah, that's really cool. But Rochelle, long story short, you got to figure out what's going on here. If you're using an herbicide too, that could totally be the sole source of this problem. So quit it. Let it dry out. Don't do any of that. If you need to get rid of weeds in those rocky areas, then your best bet is you can actually just take straight vinegar, like the low dose stuff. Don't get the craziest stuff. You can even get vinegar that's made for horticulture. So get vinegar and spray it on there. Axe or ammonium nanoate is another great option, but that's going to cost you $100 for like a 2.5 gallon jug. They do not sell it in smaller quantities. So anyways, hope that helps. And I hope you get some amazing trees with awesome fruit over the years. And we're moving on. Let's do maybe 2 more, Lucas. You good with that? Awesome. So we got Britta in South Branch. Look at this. We're only 5 hours in, y'all. This is how many we're getting every single day. It's growing way too fast. Ficus in Lee County, Florida. I don't know the lutea. I don't know what that is, but ficus is ficus. They're awesome. Y'all, here's an interesting fact. The largest tree in terms of biomass on this planet is actually in India, and guess what tree it is? It's a ficus, or it's a ficus. I gotta point the right direction over the picture. That's to my left, but the screen's actually to my right, so I'm like really backwards here. Ficus is the largest. It covers, I believe, like 27 acres of canopy, and the way it does it is with these big aerial roots that come down. Let me show you this. Ficus are such cool trees. Ooh, look at that. Yeah. So you've got all these little vines and stuff that comes down. They'll actually produce all of these little aerial roots, and they'll send more aerial roots down, more aerial roots, more aerial roots, and eventually you'll start forming like a trunk of roots. It's really cool. And so that's how they became the biggest in the world, is it just keeps growing, and adding to its canopy. And what you wind up with is this ancient, like 27-acre tree. Super cool. So anyways, sorry, Britta. Bunny trails. There are several others of the same. Okay, any ideas of the cause of these root formations? There are several others of the same species nearby. None have these oddly shaped roots. The roots have been like this for 20 plus years. Our guess is fungus or a parasite infected the tree at some point, but we've been unable to determine the cause. Yes, that is fungus. But it's not a bad thing necessarily. So you might have heard the term burl, B-U-R-L. Burls are essentially just that. Is what's happening is you're getting like this kind of target pattern where, let's do this. You've got fungus infects. You got a small little fungus that infects. Well, trees do what trees do best, which is they compartmentalize. They don't heal in the sense that you and I heal. Whereas if I get a cut, my arm's going to replace the tissue, scar tissue. Trees seal alternatively. So they don't have the ability to heal and just cover it up and reform the tissue and replace it. What they have to do is they have to grow around it. So they form these little layers. We call them compartmentalization. Coated is the term. It's compartmentalization of decay in trees. We'll have to add that in there, the text, Lucas, later on to the video. But compartmentalization of decay in trees, or coated. And what happens, fungus grows, tree grows. Fungus grows, tree grows. Fungus grows, tree grows. And so what you wind up with is this beautiful pattern. It's all these natural swirls. And if you walk in like a multi-millionaire's house, and they have like this custom table, a lot of times you'll see all this burl wood. And what they do is they make it into a table because it looks so cool. Let me see if I can find maybe a picture of one. Burl table. Oh man, look at that. That's amazing. $42,000 table. Where'd it go? Okay, here we go. So yeah, if you can see that, Britta, that is what burl wood does. And that is kind of what's going on with your root system on your ficus. Now, you probably can't sell it for $42,000, so don't get any crazy ideas. But you can sell it to a woodworker for maybe $5,000. When it comes time to remove that tree, whatever you do, if it ever comes time in your lifetime, then you don't want to just cut it down and grind it down. Keep that wood. If you need to get a crane out there and have somebody assist with a crane, do what you need to do. But like, this is what's going on with your roots. So super cool. This is like God's art in my book. It's way better than our art. Look at that. Just look at it, y'all. Just look at it. Oh, I guess when I remove myself, my audio goes too. That's fun. Um, Anyways, you can see the beautiful swirls in it, Britta. That's exactly what's going on with your tree. So yeah, see, Keith knows what's up. That's pretty awesome. There's a red oak at a friend of mine's house that's doing the same, albeit not as dramatic. Isn't that beautiful, Christine? Like, yeah, nature, God does a great job at designing things, yo. They really do. Yeah, Christine. Actually, you know what, Christine? Let's do that now. Let's take a look at your tree. She just sent me over pictures. Christine's one of our moderators, by the way, and she does a great job of that. So glad to have you. When did you send it? And did you send it to the email? Oh yes, there it is. Okay, here we go. Wanted to show you some crazy. The elms shot out in 2 years. I'm inclined to just leave it alone. All right, I'm going to try to keep your name out of this, but let's go over here with it. Okay, so this is classic retrenchment, you guys. I love that. That is so cool, Christine. So Christine lost a big limb, and I think it was Hurricane Beryl, wasn't it? And we said don't prune it. Let's just let it grow, let it do its thing. And this is exactly what trees are meant to do. Trees are comprised of basically carbon, oxygen, and hydrogen. And what the photosynthetic process does, the photosynthesis, is it basically the leaves take sunlight. They in the morning the soil breathes, believe it or not, with the waxing and waning of the moon. That's a thing, and it acts like a pump to push and pull the water in the soil. Acts like a pump to push and pull air in and out of the soil. And as in the mornings when they release all that carbon dioxide from the soil, the leaves have openings and it takes up carbon dioxide because all those little microbes are breathing in oxygen and breathing out carbon dioxide, right? Super cool. And so the leaves capture that carbon dioxide, and then the tree pulls water up and it mixes that carbon dioxide, CO2, with H2O, water, and it produces C6H12O6 and six oxygen molecules. Hey, what's up, Sprout? Welcome back. Yeah, we're looking at Christine's. Actually, you probably remember Christine from like the very beginning. She's back. Glad to have you, Christine. And anyways, Sprout's up. He's I don't know if you know Sprout, but he's a sprouting arborist. He's a soon to be arborist up in the Great North, and just a wealth of knowledge. I'm excited for your career, dude. All right, so yeah, so we're looking at Christine, one of our moderators, trees, and she broke a limb off in a hurricane. You know, because we do that here in Houston periodically. And yeah, welcome. What's up? That's awesome. Okay, so you got basically a new canopy forming is what's happening. The tree needs to produce the woody tissue, which is made from sugar. That's what the leaves produce, right? That's that photosynthesis process broken down in its most simple form. That's also part of how we breathe. But what the tree's doing is it's producing, yeah, it's a Chinese elm. It's a lace bark elm sprout. Is that lace bark elm is producing a lot of sugars from those new sprouts. These bad boys and girls, I guess, maybe. Yeah, lace bark elm. And so when it's producing that, it's actually pumping extra leaf juice, extra photosynthates and sugars into that wound. That's why that's a reactionary growth to stress. All those sprouts, leave them alone. Y'all stop over thinning the canopy because the tree put those sprouts there for a reason because it needed it. It needed extra sugars. And so it's healing and sealing that wound with those extra sugars that are produced by that crazy explosion of leaves. So like I said, we may be able to start doing some pruning to reestablish the canopy there, Christine, but that's amazing. I love it. And you've probably got a lot of new growth. Let's see. It looks like maybe I could see part of it. Maybe. Yeah, look at that good closure tissue, y'all. That's amazing. That much growth in 2 years tells me the tree is doing really well. So I know you put that micro life down too, I hope. But yeah, root flares are exposed. I love it. Things are coming in good. Yeah, that's so cool. That's nature doing what it does best, is just surviving. Yep. Now we might too could help with reducing the canopy height on the limbs over the driveway because I think that'll stunt that growth a little bit and cause these branches, the little sprouts, to become big sprouts and eventually become permanent branches a lot faster. So, and again, keep up the microlife too. All right, Sprout's saying I have a paper birch that I'm trying to get to produce lower sprouts because the previous homeowner got it lion-tailed. Oh, those jerks. Yeah, you can always top it. That'll jumpstart the process. That worked well for Christine's tree at least. A happy accident, but yeah, that tree's getting a lot of sugars now, and look at how dark and beautiful those leaves are too. Right shape, right size, everything's looking good. Send me a close up of the leaves too. Oh yeah, no, we got good camera. Cool. Yeah, everything's looking really good. Good closure. Look at that. Closure's good. Everything, yeah. Well done, Christine. Doing it right. Nice. That's why your tree looks so good, Christine. Isn't that amazing? Yeah, that's wild. 6 cubic feet of mushroom compost all around the entire drip line. That's perfect. Great. You're doing it exactly right. By the way, Christine, Microlife just had me on their podcast. I'll send you the link here in a minute. But yeah, we had a good time. We talked fun tree stuff. You might want to check it out. They're doing a podcast now. I think we're in episode 9, and I was honored. I got a chance to be on there and help them jumpstart the show. So while I'm here, I do want to know, you said a few things ago that the birch is in a position where adding nitrogen directly into the trunk would be most beneficial. How do I do that? You don't have to add it directly to the trunk, but when you feed the microbes, they're going to pull nitrogen out of the air. That's great. The yeah, so they'll pull the microbes will, but you can use like blood meal is a great nitrogen source. You can use like the mushroom compost that'll help jumpstart things. You can even do like a chemical fertilizer. Don't do the weed and feed obviously, but you can do like Milorganite's a pretty high nitrogen. I know Davy Green Day or something like that. Not Green Day, that's a band. But Davy has a green product specifically for trees. I know Roots has a specific product for trees. Let me see. It's been so long since I've bought like actual fertilizer. Yeah, PHC, Bare Roots. I think that's the name. NutraRoot. There it is. ArborJet's NutraRoot is a really, really good product. It's a little expensive though, so that's the only thing. I don't think you should do a trunk injection unless you have to. But the other one, it's a brand called Roots. I'll send you the link for that one. Biopack Plus is good too. I used to use that all the time. Fertilizer for trees, $27.99. I'll send you this link. Actually, I'll just plug it in here. Shoot, we're already talking, y'all. Yeah, you gotta have an intervention for your dad sprout. So, that's how it goes. Oh yeah, I don't want to know. Yeah, Microlife molasses, all the good stuff. That was jazz and stuff. It almost came out, like I said, a dirty word, but I'm an innocent man this time. That's awesome. Oh yeah, I actually dug in and around the elm and removed 3 crossing roots that had wrapped around the trunk. I thought so. I couldn't remember if the root flares were already exposed. Well done. Well done. You're crushing it. Oh yeah, last year I exposed the birch tree's root flare, and I had really beautiful wide root flares now. Hopefully it starts to thrive. I love it. He did the weed in the morning while I was asleep 2 weeks ago. He's out there ninja poisoning the yard. What a gangsta. That's hilarious. Not good, but it's kind of funny. Tree's probably gonna make it. Yeah, usually one herbicide thing is not enough to be just like completely wreck the tree's life. But you start to accumulate it. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I knew what you meant, dude. It's Wisconsin, not Illinois. You know what I mean. You know what I mean, Sprout. He doesn't know what it does, though. He doesn't mean to hurt the tree. Nah, most people don't. It's good marketing. Those guys are billion-dollar corporations. Bayer? Y'all ever heard of Bayer? They've been around since Nazi days. They're doing okay financially. They make a lot of products in medicine and in horticulture. I think they bought out Monsanto, maybe. Maybe Monsanto bought them out. I can't remember. Illinois drivers on the highway. Yeah, I know. There's a weed in feed joke in there somewhere, Sprout. Sorry. Legalities and such, Illinois drivers. We feel the same way about Austinians, Austin people. Yeah, that's the local ones. Although I was at a apartment complex and I walked into the lady's house to view because she had a balcony and like there's all these units and she wanted to show me this one tree that was in decline. So I go up there and you've been busy in here, lady. What is those are some good herbs you're cooking. Anyways, whatever. Like I had to walk in and out of there quick before I got contacted by something high off the ground. Anyways, bad jokes in there, but yeah, sorry. We're way off subject, you guys. We're not talking about those kind of trees. We're talking about y'all's kind of trees. So thanks again for joining us, all of you. We had a great time, and we'll be back at it Tuesday next week and talking all about your great tree questions, answering these great tree problems. And love being here and being a great resource for you guys. Again, be here Saturday. We got all these really cool MicroLife products I'll be giving away, but you got to be on the live stream. That's a caveat. So we're trying to push this out and invite your friends. That'd be awesome. These are all really great products. We got some Ocean Harvest, which is just a really good, they call it Lazarus juice for trees. I use this on just about every tree that I plant. And basically they explode. The roots get started. It's a really great root stimulant, but it's also a good general fertilizer and a biostimulant. So, and then of course the liquid and plant energy. This is basically like taking all your multivitamins, but for your trees. Really good stuff. It feeds the beneficial microbes. It feeds the trees itself. Adds some really good humates and molasses into the soil. And of course, the grand winner will be MicroLife Liquid AF. This is an antifungal. You can use it to basically, I've been stopping Phytophthora. Like I've got trees that I've been treating with this stuff for less than a year, and they do not have any symptoms or signs of the fungal pathogens that we started with. Oh yeah. Even Sprout's a living testimony. So we got to tag them in this post too, and we got to tag MicroLife and let them know that we were talking about them. But yeah, MicroLife, it helped my autumn blaze maple establish in 1 year, and it's great stuff. Like I'm not just yes, I'm a distributor, but I don't make money off of this stuff. So if you want to buy it from me, great. If you want to buy it from the other interwebs, great. And I actually prefer that, so I don't have to worry about it. But I'm happy to help you too, of course. If you guys want some MicroLife, hit me up, let me know. But it's really great stuff. And we had a Texas mountain laurel that we did. I did a root drench in the Ocean Harvest and the Liquid AF just for fun. And then I did the soil and plant energy as well. And it had 4 feet of growth in 1 year. Now, if you know Texas mountain laurel, they are a slow grower. So yeah, join us Saturday. All that to say, join us Saturday for some free juice. And we'll be sure to hook you up. But the reason we're doing that is we are celebrating 10,000 members, you guys. And again, I just want to thank y'all so much for being a part of this group. We could not have done it without all of you, both those helping us, Christine and Michael and Lucas and Sprout for being here and being great and joining us on all these. We've got some great arborists out here that are kind of hanging out with us a lot too. We are at over 10,000 people. We did that in like a year. So a little bit more than a year. So guys, thank you so much for being a part of this group. And again, if you have questions, drop us a comment here. We'll be sure and answer them here and Ask an Arborist. And if you need a closer look at your trees, we do digital telemedicine for trees. That's those guys up there, Arborist on Demand. And that's my company. Think of it like telemedicine for trees. Is if doctors can do it and try to figure out what's going on with you, then we surely can with your trees as well. So thanks again. Just hit us up on the web at arboristondemand.com and sign up for a digital arborist consultation. Thanks again for being here, you guys. Love y'all and appreciate y'all being here. And we will see you next time.